So today, let's play with some dotted tissue paper. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a collage video where I was using some papers on dotted tissue paper. And for some reason, I never recorded the actual making of those papers. So today we're going to play a little bit with some dotted tissue. Let's get started.
Okay, so I bought this dotted paper, and one of the things that I like about it is the randomness of the dots. So right here, I'm just cutting the papers up into manageable sheets so that I can use them on my 8x10 Gelli plate. So you're going to ask me, where did you get this paper? And I don't remember, unfortunately. But I did find some interesting papers on Amazon, and I will link them in the description below, so take a look. Okay, so my camera didn't start when I wanted to start, so but here we are. I'd laid down some purple. We're working with Amsterdam paints today. I put 2 stencils down, and I'm lifting from within the openings of the stencil. So we're seeing a lot of the dots. We're getting some white. And I'm going to be always working with 2 sheets. So one will be picking up the ghost, the other will be picking up through the stencils. That way we move fast. And then we'll put our second layer down on both. Again, the ghost and or I should say, the first print and then the ghost. Okay, I left it a little bit longer because it is the ghost, and as you can see, it didn't pick up everything. You know, the tissue does not grab the paint quite like copy paper does or a rice paper, but you can still get really good results. And it also depends on the color that you're working with. So anyway, this is a vermilion. This is, again, still Amsterdam. And I'm laying down some masks this time for my second layer. And I'm going over, I think this is the ghost print. I love that color combination. It really, really pops. So now we have a ghost of the masks, which are interesting shapes. And we're going to go over the first print. So I'm alternating, you know, first print with a ghost, and the other one was the ghost with a first print. So, or you could just do a ghost with a ghost. You just keep playing. So this definitely needs another layer. Okay, so then I have this Naples yellow, which I think is a beautiful color. So I'm going to give that a try. It looks more beigey on camera, but it's more of a salmon color. It's a very pretty color. So I'm going to put that over the one that definitely needs something. And so since I had a lot of white space, I'm laying, you know, I'm doing the background of the mask, which gives me a lot more color. I'm sure somebody out there will like it, but not my favorite. And sometimes just because a color is a beautiful color, especially when you're painting with it, doesn't mean that it is a beautiful color on the gel plate. Sometimes it just is too pale. Maybe it's just because I really love brilliant color. I'm not afraid of color. But I am trying to get outside of my comfort zone with colors these days. I'm trying to buy new colors that I never would have purchased before. Now here's the mistake here. Too much paint. I obliterated the white background, and you really need that white background with this paper anyway. So now this is I'll put down below what red this is, but this is one of Amsterdam's reds. And again, I'm using my masks. I'm going to go over this one. So because I'm using different masks and in a different position anyway, the red is not going to obliterate that orange, that vermilion color. It's just going to, you know, be in different areas, and I think it's going to complement it well. So I really like that print. Okay, so now we have the ghost of the masks in this nice red color. And I'm going to try to put it over that one that I already have too much paint on it, but now it seems to be just an orange mess. So I thought maybe it might make it a little bit more interesting. It'll make a good collage paper, which is always the goal. So this is, I think, a yellow ochre. Like I said before, I will put all of the colors down in the description. And I'm laying down my masks. And my first pull will be through the openings again. And so because it's tissue paper, you could really get into those tiny openings. So you don't have to worry about picking a stencil that's got small patterns. Oh, I didn't even show you that. Bad. I'm so bad. But you'll see it on the next pull. So now I'm just picking up the ghost. And so it didn't pick up around the bottom, so I was trying to get some of it up. But anyway, so I decided to get another color. Now this green is also an Amsterdam paint, and it's very vibrant. And again, there's my trusty masks. I will be making some new masks soon, and I'm going to make a video. I know some of you are interested in the Cricut and some are not. So I apologize to those of you who are not, but at least you see the process of how I make the masks, because I don't like to buy other people's stencils and masks that often. That's a good start. At least I showed you this time. And so on this one, we're going to pick up the ghost. And with tissue paper, you also have to be careful when you're laying the paper down, because sometimes it gets wrinkled. And then you don't pick up any paint where the wrinkles are. So you'll see sometimes I do from one end and then smooth out, especially since this paper, because I cut it from a folded sheet, it has a crease down the middle. So you want to make sure that you get rid of that crease. And when I'm picking colors, I try to have at least one that is a nice contrast. Now that contrast could just be brightness, but it could also be, you know, the value. So I'm very happy with that one. Okay, so we need a little pop of color on this one, because those two colors, the green and I think it was the yellow ochre, they were too close in value. Like they just weren't. There was nothing except for the black that was popping. So we really needed another color. Another thing that I should mention is when you're working with tissue. Now see how that one I wasn't careful and I got a lot of creases. But another thing that you have to worry about is tearing it, because it is delicate. Okay, so I'm going with the permanent green now. This color doesn't look so beautiful in the tube. When you just look at the tube, it just looks like this dark forest green, but when you roll it out, brayer it out, it is a gorgeous, more of an emerald color. And so I'm laying that on top of this. Oh, look at how that beautiful color, and how well it looks with the other colors. It is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so now we're going to pick up the ghost of the masks. The color will not be as vibrant as it was on the first one because it is the ghost, but it's still very nice. Okay, so let's keep going. So I'm going to go, I think this is a cerulean blue. I will definitely, like I said, put it all in the description below. A lot of these colors come in the sample pack, which is what I'm still using up, and then I'm going to start buying some bigger tubes of my favorite colors. Okay, so we're going to pick up this beautiful blue through the stencil. And there are some really tiny openings in this stencil, so I'm really trying to make sure I get them all, because in some of the others I did not get it. Those little squigglies. So that came out pretty good, pretty even print. And the ghost is nice too. I wrinkled. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so now I'm going to use that bright green again. I'll tell you the exact color. If I knew, but I'm going to mix it with a little bit of red. I'm sorry. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of yellow. So I like mixing colors on the plate because you don't get an even color. You get, you know, sort of spots where it didn't mix, and I actually like that. So I'm hoping these two colors will look good together. So when you're alternating like this, you're also saving some time. When you really want to just get a lot of prints done fast, work 2 at a time. So I'm starting with my masks this time, or maybe I'm overlaying again, I don't even remember. Yeah, overlaying. I love that one. So I probably should have left the blue and the green alone. But, you know, maybe I'll do that some other day just to have them in my stash of papers. But as I'm working on this, I feel like I needed it. But I do have some areas where you just see a tiny little bit of red. So that paint's already dry. I couldn't pick it up again. All right, so let's try to pick up with yellow and get some of this red off there as well. You'll notice I didn't go all the way to the edge, but that was intentional. So I'm just picking up in some areas. I wasn't going for like an even coat of the stencil. We have to try different things, you know? So I'm going to try to pick this up with a fresh sheet. I have no idea what it's going to pick up. Maybe nothing, because it's probably very dry by this time. And we got a little bit of it off, but that's it. That might be a good starter background. So I think I'm attempting to get the rest of it off, but as you can see, all I got was a tiny little bit down in the center of that paper, so we're just going to put that aside. See that little dollop of yellow right smack in the middle? So I'm trying to pick up the stuff that was left on the plate, but look at how beautiful that color combination is. I'm definitely keeping that sheet as a collage background. Anyway, it still did not pick up. I'm trying to get my plate to a starting point again, nice and clean. I may have to just go and clean the plate. Anyway, I decided to just keep going because maybe these spots that were left on the plate will add to the next print. So I'm mixing a little bit of the blue with the white. So again, in an attempt to work with different colors and get outside of my normal color palette, I'm mixing some colors together. Now, this wasn't a big mix, it was just adding some white, but It was also a blue that I don't usually use. So we'll see, this is probably going to be a dustier blue. I figured I'd lay that on top of that. Still trying to salvage the ones that I think were fails. And a lot of times those failures become great collage papers that I, in the middle of doing a collage, suddenly see a spot in there that is perfect for what I'm working on. So never throw anything away. Always keep everything. That actually isn't too bad. One of the reasons why I call that a fail is because I prefer the ones that have the white, even though that's going to be a little bit transparent when you're using it in collage, or maybe that's why I like a little bit of the white to show. Okay, so we're going back to our stencils. And I'm overlaying on one we've already printed. So sometimes I like the smaller stuff to be more in the background, and sometimes I want to bring it back forward again. And if I'm getting too fast with the pulls, you'll see them all at the end. I will show them all to you at the end. So I don't know what it is with the bottom of my plate that it wants to like hold on to the paint, but I kept having that problem. Making sure I have enough paint at the bottom to really pull that off. And as you could see, that didn't really work. Mostly it's because this is tissue paper, and this particular tissue paper anyway does not really get all of the paint off the plate. Okay, so I decided I'm going to take some Titan Buff and I'm going to get this plate clean. I'm tired of stuff getting piled up on it. And I'm just going to use some copy paper and I'm really going to pull it all off. And it might give me something very interesting as a collage background. So always give this a try. If your plate is just, you know, that grunge that's left on the plate can sometimes be very, very interesting, especially when you have multiple colors building up. So I'm leaving it a little longer because I want to make sure it really all pulls up, and it's still not. It's still not all pulling up, but that's pretty interesting. But now we still have that stuff down at the bottom, so I'm going to attempt to get that. And I'm going to use one of my pickup sheets to pick that up. So look at how gorgeous that is. And I like how you see the brayered part through it. the transparent part, but that's gorgeous. Yeah, I guess I get excited about weird things. Okay, so now we're going to switch it up a little bit with the color, and we're going to go to purple. Okay, so we're going to start with our masks. And we're going to go over one of the ones that we've already printed. I want to see what the purple is going to do on top of this. That's kind of interesting. That will definitely look good with that. And you have to work fast because you don't want the paint to dry when you're picking up a ghost. So hopefully I'm not moving too fast. Got it a little bit. Anyway, sorry I didn't show you that. Okay, so I did a lot more, so I'm just going to speed up, and if you want to keep watching, enjoy. Okay, so here are some of the prints. That was one that I wasn't too happy with, but I think will make a great collage. I like that one a lot. Also like that one. You'll see that I like the ones that have more contrast. That's just how I am. That one's a little bit too even. That will also make good collage papers. It's just too even, too even. I like that better because it has a little bit more collage. A little bit more contrast. I like that one too. And I left this one alone because I think it is going to make good collage paper. Same thing with this. We have enough of the white areas. So that is one of my favorites right there. I'm pulling out some of the ones that I like best. So I definitely like that one that's just red and orange, black and white. And of course I love this one because of all the color. But then there's, you know, the contrasting red, that pop. And I also like this one because I think it's an interesting color combination.
So what do you think of dotted tissue? I really like it. I'm not normally a big fan of tissue paper because working with it can be very challenging, but give it a try. It's a lot of fun, especially when they're overlaying. You can get some nice results. And if you haven't seen that collage video, I will post it here at the end. Okay, so thanks for stopping by today. Don't forget, create, inspire, and share. And I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.